Today we're going to be going over 10 affordable fragrance clones that can easily replace the original. Now, I have said original of each fragrance clone that we're going to be covering in this video. A lot of these, at least the ones that have been out for a while, I've also had for a long time, so I have a lot of experience with wearing them and testing them. There are clones of a couple newer releases in here, so obviously I haven't had them as long because they are more recent releases. However, still have plenty of time to wear them and test them, and these clones have hit the nail on the head. Generally speaking, the market for clones is so booming right now because fragrances keep getting more and more expensive year over year. I'm not even talking niche. That's always been something that's been more pricey, but even designers are just getting pricier and pricier as time goes on. The parfums and everything that are coming out are going to be at a higher price point than the eau de toilettes and the eau de parfums. A lot of these brands are coming out with exclusive editions and just more premium high-end products, and so these designers are even creeping their way up to some Mancera level prices, pretty close at retail. And so if you want to save some money and you don't want to be paying those obnoxious prices, even at discounters, they're still pricey, we've got clones that can easily take place of these, and these clones are generally going to be around $30 and under. Some maybe a bit more. We'll cover those as we go, but generally around the $30 range. Now, I'll drop links to these down below. You really can't buy any of these at retailers. Don't expect to walk into your local Sephora and pick up a LATTAFA. That is never going to happen. So you're going to have to be shopping at discounters. The links will take you to the best prices. Some of these are hot sellers. Some of these go out of stock often. If you want to have a chance to get these when they do come back in stock, you can sign up to my mailing list. It's a completely free tool that you can utilize because every time something like that does come back into stock, I send out an email notification so you can pick it up. Again, a lot of these go quick, so if you get on that list, you'll have a fighting chance to be able to grab some for yourself. Let's get things kicked off with LATTAFA ASAD. Now this one's actually right around $22 to $25, and this is a clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir, which is $160 plus, even at discounters. Every so often it'll come in for I think maybe $140 to $150 if you're lucky. At that price point, it does sell quick. The resting price where it's almost always available right now is around $160. And it retails for just a touch over that as well. And that's for like a 60 ml bottle. They have the 100 mils out now, which are up over 200, I think like 210. So we're literally talking somewhat above niche level pricing for that stuff. And you can get this for a fraction of the price. And this is really good. It is actually one of my favorite clones that have been released within the past few years because it is that accurate at a dirt cheapy price, essentially. It does have that sandalwood, cinnamon, licorice, nutmeg, spiciness, the warmth, all of that stuff going on here. It is Sauvage Elixir, about as close as you can possibly get. Moving on, we have HARAMAIN Amber Oud Carbon Edition. So this is going to be their take on Creed Green Irish Tweed, which has been out for a long time now. And also there are several clones that have been out for a while now. So, cloning that is nothing new. However, this is actually one of the better ones that I've tried. It's going to be between this and ARMAF Très Nuit. Both are fantastic. I've loved both. The one difference is going to be with the HARAMAIN, it's a little bit more expensive. So not for nothing. They're not just charging you more money and giving you the same product as the ARMAF. You can tell there is a difference in quality and more so performance. This is a better performer than the ARMAF. Not to say that the ARMAF is a poor performer. This one just does better. So if you're on a really tight budget, the ARMAF for around $20, $25 maybe is going to be the way to go for you. If you have a little bit more to spend and you want to get more of a premium clone, but still be way under the Creed price, this is one you should check out. Really close and really good. And actually, it's perfect for spring right now. Next up, we have BROCA TOUCHE. So this is a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male. So there's also Afnan 9 PM. Great one as well. A little bit more expensive sometimes depending on where you're shopping. Sometimes that can be up into the 40s. This one is roughly half that price. So you can get a ton of savings by going with this. Even with the Afnan though, you're still getting big savings. over Ultra Male, which is going for, 80 to 90 sometimes, depending on the bottle size. This is really good, like really, really, really good. One difference between this and 9 p.m. that I do like is I actually get more of a legitimate pear note out of this, whereas with 9 p.m., not so much. Now, don't get me wrong, 9 p.m. is still very much a close clone. One difference, though, is the type of sweetness and the type of fruitiness doesn't align as much. The pear accord just isn't there in the same way as Ultra Male, or in the same way as this one. So in one way or another, this one could be a little bit closer depending on what you're trying to get close to and what you're looking for. There's going to be a little bit of a difference in quality there. You could step up to the 9 p.m. and spend a little bit more, maybe get a better product, but this one still does a lot for the price. Comes in at an eau de parfum concentration. Decent looking little presentation, nothing crazy, but doesn't look overly clone-ish either. This is something that could kind of, pass as a designer scent, a normal scent on your collection. So really good stuff. This next one is a little bit more expensive, I think $58 to $60. It's also 85 ml, so oddball bottle size and a little bit more money. However, what it is a clone of is way more expensive anyway, so you're still saving a lot of money. BOROUJ PERLADOR. Now, if you are looking for a Parfums de Marly Carlisle clone, look no further than this. Seriously. If you want a clone of that, buy this and don't look back. Don't look for anything else. Don't try to see, oh, is there something cheaper? Oh, is there something, that's better? This is it. I mean, this is astonishing. So close to Carlisle. It's not even funny. And Carlisle itself has a little bit of that Mancera red tobacco thing going on. So this also kind of follows suit and has a little bit of that as well. Although less red tobacco-y, much more creamy and sweet and patchouli oriented, and just much more similar to Carlisle overall. Carlisle itself, at the end of the day, is still its own scent, and this one follows suit of that. Great quality, great performance, decent presentation, a little bit of that clone look to it, but does look a little bit more premium, and I mean, this stuff is amazing. Jumping over to the House of ARMAF, this is probably one of the biggest names in the game when it comes to clones. They've been doing it for a long time. They have it down to a science. A lot of their offerings, if not most all of them, are really, really good. Just this year, right? Beginning of this year, time is a little bit kind of running together, but here recently, they dropped 4 brand new ones all at once. Actually, FRAGRANCEBUY launched them, which is pretty cool to see a discounter bringing something like this to market first. So that was cool. It's funny, I was already seeing comments of people saying, oh, were they authentic? And legitimately, I was in contact with FRAGRANCEBUY, and again, they were the ones that brought the product to market straight from ARMAF. So yes, they are authentic. This one's ARMAF Untold. This is actually the one in question where people are like, oh, I think I'm getting a fake. There's already fakes of ARMAF Untold. It's a little bit comical, but I've said it ad nauseum at this point, and this DNA is tricky. You see the common alcohol blast and can't smell anything all the time, whether it's from Baccarat Rouge 540 itself, the original super expensive one from MFK, the Extrait, or any other clone, you see that. No matter how many times myself or commenters or other people say that and warn people about this DNA, it still just goes out there and people struggle with it. So yes, this DNA is a little bit different, very transparent, very woody, and just a different style altogether. But if you want to get super close to BR540 Eau de Parfum for right around $58, $59, this is one of your best options currently. Now, this actually is one where it's out of stock often, might even be out of stock right now. It's not a huge deal, it's not discontinued, it's just in super high demand. And if you get on that mailing list, I promise, as soon as it comes into stock, I will notify you. Chances are you will be able to get a bottle for yourself or 2, and all will be well. Next up, we have Amber Oud, the brand of Amber Oud. Guys, it's the brand Amber Oud EXCLUSIF BLEU. So this is by far the most premium latent clone that you can possibly buy. I love HARAMAIN Detour Noir. Still fantastic. It's about half the price of this, essentially. It's $30, $35. This is up a little bit over 60, I think, or actually maybe not quite half the price. This actually might be a little bit less. I don't know, 58, 57, somewhere around in there. But I do know this is an straight, the HARAMAIN's an eau de parfum. This one is much higher quality, much richer, much stronger overall. Nothing short of downright impressive, to the point where it is scary, it is crazy, and I will be the first to say it. For a lot of people out there who spent money on Layton, and then you go and you buy and you smell this, you might be a little bit frustrated that you spent, you know, 180, 200 plus on a bottle of Layton when you have this for $50, $60. It is crazy how good this one is. It brings a lot to the table. If you want Layton at an affordable price, look no further. Next up, Bentley for Men Absolute. So we have kind of an official designer brand here. They have a really, really good thing going with this, because this is Gucci Pour Homme 1, which is a very well sought after discontinued scent. And look, it's not very surprising of Gucci to discontinue their best scents, and a lot of them were maybe a little bit challenging, at least in terms of today's market. It's not uncharacteristic of them. It's sad, but that's what happens. However, this is one that you can pick up for right around $35, I think. Testers do come with the cap, so you can save a bit there, and you can get something that smells very close. It's all about the cedar wood, the pink pepper, a little bit of like a papyrus, smoky, wispy brightness as well. Very spicy, very dry, very woody, very masculine. Definitely a traditional smelling manly man scent. This is not sweet and blue and bubblegummy and aquatic or anything of that nature, gourmand, nothing like that. This is down to business, straight up woody stuff, but it's really good, great quality. Really am a big fan of this one up next. I don't know why I didn't get it sooner, and it's also one that can be a little bit tough to get sometimes. Again, mailing list, no problem when it comes in stock. You'll be able to get it, but it is one that is worth hunting down, because it brings something great to the table as well, and you'll see why. From ARMAF, it's FUTURA La Homme, coming in at an eau de parfum concentration. It's a clone of Dior Homme, okay? So Dior Homme, not Dior Homme Original, Dior Homme 2011, the Iris. You could also say that it's a clone of Dior Homme Original, even though the original release came after this. It smells like those. It doesn't matter. It's not a rabbit hole that is worth diving into. I'm sure all my review people were saying, oh, Dior Homme Original came after this, but obviously, guys, it's that DNA that it's a clone of. That's what it's all about. The Iris Dior Homme. That's what this smells like. And no matter what version you try to get, Dior Homme 2011 or Dior Homme Original, they're both hard to get. One is discontinued, one is just super hard to find for whatever reason, at least here in the US and Canada. Now, Dior Homme 2020, completely different scent, completely unrelated. You can get that everywhere, but again, that's not this. So if you want to get that OG smelling Iris Dior Homme at a fraction of the price, you can pick this up. Again, even this is a little bit hard to get, but it's worth it, and you can save a lot of money. Second to last, we have Fragrance World Imperium. So yeah, I mean, you know, if the presentation says something to you, then you probably know exactly what it's a clone of. This is their take on Rouge Parfums Elysium. You cannot miss it. I mean, if I were to hold this bottle up like this, just kind of do this, you know, really quickly, you would probably think it's Elysium. That's how close this bottle presentation is. The shape of it's off, obviously, but, you know, if you were just to flash this on screen or maybe see it sit in the background somewhere, kind of blurry and at an angle, you would think it's Elysium. It's crazy. And actually, the scent also is impressively close to Elysium. At the end of the day, this DNA is all about the fruits, the citruses, and most notably the vetiver. There's a very specific vetiver style and accord used in Elysium, and really, I've said this before, but any other fragrance out there that kind of smells like Elysium and gets compared to it is primarily getting compared to it because of that certain specific style of vetiver, and they have it down here. It gets you very close. It's fruity, it's juicy, a little bit of an ambergris, amberoxan going on, lots of lemon, and a lot of vetiver. It's clean, it's soapy, it's fresh, it's a compliment beast, and this one is around $40. Elysium, $290 plus tax at retail. Last up for this video, HARAMAIN L'Aventure Intense version. So Creed Aventus clone, but this one is even stronger than the original L'Aventure, and it's actually stronger than pretty much every other Aventus clone that I've tried on the market. The ARMAFs, things of that nature. This one is stronger. It's got great performance, really, really solid, and that scent is great. Fruity, juicy, pineapple, bergamot, the woods, the blackcurrant, the apple. I mean, you guys know the DNA, right? This one gets it down really well and delivers big time on performance, which is a nice bonus selling point. If you don't want to spend, $200, $300, $400, $500 on Aventus, depending on where you're buying, if you're buying at retail or not, then you don't have to. You have many options available to you. You really can't go out and sample them in person. You have to buy samples online. But if you want to blind buy one, this is a good one to get. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrance clones that can easily take place of the original. So if you want to save money, you want to get something that's very close, or even if you have the original already, but you just want to preserve it, save it for special occasions, and wear the clones on a daily basis because it's much cheaper to do, that's an option for you. And I guess that kind of ties along with saving money. Links will be down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list almost on a daily basis. If you want to have the opportunity to pick up anything rare, discontinued, or hard to find, or just something for a good deal in general, that is the place to be. I promise you won't regret it, and you can unsubscribe at any time, so, why not? Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.